Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us for this announcement. I have put this out quite a bit on Discord, in our server there, and in our group on Facebook for those that are a member of that. This specifically pertains to the folks that follow this channel and have subscribed over the years for Eldorado Championship Wrestling, WWE 2K content. And I do want to start on a high note here, and I want to say to everybody that has followed this channel and to everybody that stuck by this channel and me personally when I kind of vanished from, say, 2020 to 2023 almost. There's a significant gap there. For those of you who are subscribed to Call All Stars, and if you're not, definitely go do that. I went into the Hall of Fame for Call All Stars this last event, and I spoke a little bit on it there. I want to say thank you to everybody who's stuck by the channel. It dawned on me some time ago as I was looking at the calendar that Eldorado Championship Wrestling technically has been in existence for a little bit over 10 years now, close to 11 realistically, but with the Facebook page where I do most of the uploading and things there, officially it was marked 10 years. So it's crazy to believe. When this all started in 2014, I didn't, 2013, the end of 2013, 2014, it was WWE 2K14 to be specific. I never expected it, honestly. My son was on the way. We knew we were having a baby. I was just kind of fumbling through stuff at a job, and this was a hobby that helped me pass a lot of long nights at work where I could actually, on my overnight shifts, record commentary and edit things and post things. It was crazy. It was a wild time. A lot's changed since then. But yeah, so that's where we were at. The boy is 9 now. It's crazy. I think about it all the time. And I just want to say seriously thank you to everybody, first of all, before I go into what this is actually about. For everybody that has still subscribed, followed, sent me messages when I was away. When I announced that we were coming back to 2K23, people got very excited for it. I honestly didn't know what the reaction would be, but it was the reaction and the outpouring of support and interest that said, all right, get off your ass and get back to this because people want it. You all are the reason that it happened. It's not me. I had some interest in the game, but it wasn't enough by myself to make Eldorado Championship Wrestling continue forward. So I talked about, in my Call All Stars Hall of Fame induction speech, to kind of get back on track here, I said that, we're back and we're better than ever. Some things happened. We kind of took a little bit of a step back in 2K23. I have talked about that in other channels as well too. So my capture device that I had been using since 2K15, it went kaput on me finally. It was a good device. I got a lot of money and time out of it. I kind of saw the signs that it was aging, but I wasn't sure. I tried to write it out. That's why you've noticed some uploads on the channel if you watch other content that I posted too. Those things have had some, and in the ECW stuff as well too. Some things have had some audio and video issues here and there that I couldn't really overcome. That was my recording device. I think its firmware was dying actually. So I tried my best to keep it up to date, and it stopped. So I had to step back around the holidays this year, unfortunately, and think about how I was going to continue to re-record stuff. I tried ordering a new device. It didn't work. And thanks to some members of the group, I took their advice and started recording internally directly on my console, and things have been great. You'll see that. This is already going to be up by then, but you'll see that on NXT and TakeOver, hopefully. You'll see how clean, and I think the recording quality looks fantastic. So I should have been doing that all along, long story short. Anyway, so what does that mean for the future of ECW? There's been a lot of talk about this. I've had this conversation many a times, I think, on Discord with many people. I've had this conversation with myself. Again, I hinted at it a little bit with Call All Stars, because I didn't really know going into that speech how I was going to handle it. Part of me was going to go in, and that was actually going to be a retirement speech at one point. I sat down and I thought about it, and I thought about where I was at with things in 2K23. I've thought about it a lot, trust me. I honestly, where I was at one point, things have changed, and I feel really confident to say that this isn't a retirement speech. This is not a retirement announcement. And when I said at Call All Stars, I mean it. I put a lot of thought into it. There's still work to be done. I feel like there's still a little bit of me rebuilding, even maybe some trust, where some people were like, oh, he just kind of disappeared on us, and he put out a CPV and then left. I mean, I didn't want to be that guy. So again, I do apologize if anybody feels that way. Just definitely message me and say what's up. I assure you that this is the start of what I want to call kind of a new Eldorado Championship Wrestling. So what do I mean by that? What I mean is, as many people, if you were in those conversations, you would remember, I had talked about how, obviously I'm big on the production of this thing, and to produce all of this as one person, especially being a family person with a full-time job and not being able to set and create content full-time, although that would be a dream, it's just not realistic for me. We don't have that kind of analytics on YouTube and things to sustain it. We're not there. I want to be able to do this as full-time as possible, though. I enjoy doing it. I went through a period of burnout, and I'm not going to dwell on it, but work was very taxing on me at that point in time. It was cutting into family things outside of the Eldorado Championship Wrestling stuff on top of it. So I just really got to a point to where I had no time for much of anything. And I was trying to fight it off, but it caught me, and it led to other things. Like I've talked to people recently, I burned out on things just like watching WWE content. I'm very far removed from that now, where I'm currently at, and I'm thankful for it. So what we're going to do to benefit the needs and to supplement the needs of Eldorado Championship Wrestling is following the next CPV, which is now, since this is going to be recorded post-takeover, keep in mind, or released post-takeover, we're going to kind of condense things. And the way I'm kind of wording it and viewing it is we're going to consolidate what we do in Eldorado Championship Wrestling. So this is going to come as a shock to people, but I don't want people to be scared. I want people to be positive and optimistic about it and think about what it means for them and the opportunities that it's going to present for them. Because if I was in the opposite side of this conversation and I'm the one who's, presenting a call character to get booked on the show, doing the promo work and watching the show as a fan mostly, because that's the most important thing. Think about like, who are people that have been a part of this show specifically when you came in that you never got to work with that you wanted to work with. And I'm not talking about just chasing somebody for a belt. I'm talking about like actual names. So what's going to happen is we're going to take Walter Scott and Matt Black's titles and unify them into a new title, and we're going to circle that back around, which this will all go down at Summerslam, which is coming up again. This is going to be 2 episodes. So we're going to Takeover's done now. We have Raw and we have NXT SummerSlam, right? Matt and Walter, this is going to get announced on a future card. You'll see it with the SummerSlam announcements. Matt and Walter are going to fight to unify their titles, and we will now dub the winner of that championship title match the new Limitless Championship. So instead of Velocity, which was going to be a separate show with a lot of implications, and as much as I really wanted to get that tournament out, things just were not feasible from a production standpoint. That was adding an extra show to the program didn't really fit into things the way that I wanted to. So I apologize for that. That was a big idea that I had plans for that I just could not make work out logistically. Limitless Championship comes back in place of NXT as a whole brand is what we're doing. So what does that mean? That also means that we are effectively eliminating Raw. We're just not going to have a split brand anymore. And I have talked to several people that are trusted members of the group and the community that I always go to for opinions on things. And they've all agreed that for this to work and work out logistically the way that I think it should work out, that Eldorado Championship Wrestling just becomes Eldorado Championship Wrestling at this point. 10 years in, hopefully enough people know that name. I think most people that follow Call All Stars and maybe the VWU stuff do. Maybe some outlying people do. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully enough people know the name, because that's the gig going forward. Now, currently what that means for like the CPV schedule stuff, not much is really changing. I'm just debating at this point, do I want to do like 6 episodes between or 4 episodes between? How's it going to work? That might vary a little bit, because my idea is to build up like I normally do by show, and I'll have to figure out who gets booked on those new, like, quote-unquote weekly shows in between to properly build up to these CPVs and things that we're doing. So that's the plan. I'm personally very excited for it. I like the idea of it. I've already, come to terms with, like, when I start on 2K24 work next month, I have 1 arena to make now. I'll have 3 belts, technically 4 if you count tag belts to make. All of that stuff is going to go smoothly. I think it just presents opportunities for people that were on NXT that would have never got to work with, say, like Lewis or Aether or Gucci or Jeremy McGlasson or whoever it may be. Now those people are available to you to work with, and vice versa. I mean, all you got to do is just put it out there into the open about who you want to be paired up with in a feud or a story or something, and we're gonna make it happen. And maybe you don't see that feud play out on the next CPV to come, but we're not through the end of this season yet. We're gonna be closer to the end of this season in 2K24. Hopefully we'll be very close to the end of it if this all works out, and then we can start talking about the next season, which currently with where my current plans are, since much has changed, the next season is wide open. Honestly, at this point, I don't even know what we're going to do. I had a plan in mind because at one point, ECW was going to end with Season 5, or Year 5 as it would be called, as the way I used to upload. But that was technically going to be the end. I had it all mapped out. I knew exactly what I wanted it to end on. I wanted the final match, the final WrestleMania, all of that stuff. I had it all in my mind. I knew exactly what I wanted. But I took a step back, like I said, and I don't want that now. And I'm not saying that ECW is going to definitely not go probably another 10 years, but I'm in a place where I just want to see where it goes. And I know most everybody agrees with that. And a lot of it, again, has to do with what I've seen so far of the updates to 2K24. There's a lot of cool stuff in this game that I'm very excited to get hands-on with. So, I've talked for a while. I really just wanted to say that, again, just to reiterate, we are going to wrap up 2K23 with Summerslam. I want to get as much out of it as I can because I feel like I didn't get enough out of 2K23. So we're going to get at least 2 CPVs close together, not really a big gap in these CPVs, because if NXT, this last NXT that's going to be up when this comes out, is any indication to hopefully TakeOver, I'm back to getting stuff out pretty quickly. I feel like I can edit and record on a pretty good schedule if I do it right. That's good. And that will be a good, I feel like for the sake of everything coming together the way it should, that's a good stopping place for 2K23. Again, didn't get as much out of that game as I had hoped, but we got enough. I can live with it, and then we can look forward to 2K24. I just need to do a little bit of looking over the roster and who's here, who's doing all that, and then my plan is to get right into it, start gunning straight for this next CPV, the next couple after that, and hopefully everybody will get their due in time and be happy with it. And with that said, I want to say welcome to the new era of Eldorado Championship Wrestling. I personally am really thrilled. I've been waiting pretty much all week to record this. I keep telling myself I was going to record it. I wasn't going to record it. I was going to write something out for it. I didn't. I don't usually script things out very well. So that's where I want to leave it at. I want to just kind of like get it all off my chest, say what I need to say. And again, welcome to this new era. I personally am very excited for it, and I hope everybody else that's listening to this and watching this on YouTube is just as excited for it. If you all have any questions, of course, you know where to get a hold of me at. If you have me on your social medias, Discord, of course, is a big one. If you're just a follower of the Facebook page and have questions or want to see about joining the show, I'm leaving a lot of openings right now for people that want to join. So with that said, reach out in the applicable places. Other than that, thank you all again. 10 years strong. We have a lot to talk about with that still to come. We're going to be talking about that a lot going forward. And that's all I got to say. I think 15 minutes is a good place to cut this off. So again, thanks everybody, and we'll be talking soon. Thank you for all the support over the years.